Hello, good morning, good evening to Stuart and Sue. How are you both?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Good morning, Helen. How are you? Oh, you're muted, Helen. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm okay, yeah.
Good. Lovely to see you this morning. So today we have the wonderful Stuart and Sue who are exhausted. It's Friday night in Australia and they have given us their time to show us Udio, and we are super excited. We know some of our members have already seen the product, and one has definitely already signed up, which is amazing. Awesome. So this demonstration is the opportunity for us to ask questions and to see how the system works. Sue, are you leading this?
Let me kick off.
Start.
Stuart's going to kick off. Wonderful. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. So we have two problems. Want to be honest with everybody and up front. Problem number one is Sue has been sick as a dog. She's dragged herself up with bootstraps. It's a heroic performance. So if she coughs or sneezes, please bear with her. But she is the queen of customer service. So whatever you see today is 10% less, sorry, 100% less than what you normally get. Second problem is it's Friday evening, 7 o'clock. I would normally be well into at least a glass of wine, and it's a public holiday on Monday. So it's a long weekend. So we are showing, I said, Sue's a hero. I'm a bigger hero. But jokes aside, we've been really pleased and thankful for this opportunity. Our business has been around for over 10 years, but we sort of view ourselves as a startup. In probably the last 12 months, we've really doubled down on our technology, doubled down on our marketing, and have really sort of gunned the scalability of the business. And originally our core business was swimming and sport, but we started to see these parallels across other class-based industries and verticals, and tutoring. We started picking up a number of tutors, and then when QT came along, we thought, well, hang on, this is a great way to expand our footprint, particularly into the UK, where we are looking to scale. Sue keeps saying to me, I'm more than happy to go and start up the Udio office in the UK, having spent some time there, although her kids would probably be a bit disappointed that mum's not around to look after them. So this is a really good opportunity for us to, A, showcase our products, but B, start to get to know you. And we're always looking to evolve the product. So one of the things that I'm pretty proud of is our customer service and the feedback that we take from customers to keep building out the product and make sure that it fits your needs. Probably the thing that we're really excited about is we'll be releasing an app. I always say May, but my lead developer stares at me angrily and says, no, June. But the cool thing about the app is you will be downloading it from the App Store, and it will be your app. It'll be named after you. So effectively, you'll be getting a customized app to run your business at an absolute fraction of the cost as it would take to go out and build your own app. So there's some of the things that are coming. But
that's amazing.
Yeah. And as Sue starts to take you through the platform, please sing out if you've got any questions. But the key thing is the platform, the functionality will remain, but the look and feel will be completely turned on its head shortly and reflect our app experience. So it'll be a lot more, Sue loves this word when I say, a lot more contemporary. But the goal is to really modelize it and make it super easy for your parents or your students to interact with. So that's some of the cool things that are coming on our product roadmap. One of the things that's less cool, but something that we're pretty excited about, is we're putting our own payment gateway in as well, which allows us to better control the payment experience and also, more importantly, control the rates that you're charged on the back end of that. So that's less sexy.
That's really good.
Certainly something that's helpful.
Right.
That's enough rambling from me. I'll let the star of the show take control, and Sue will start taking you through some of the key elements of the product. And as I said, if you've got any questions, just shout out. They're always better demos when people are asking questions, and we can sort of give you specific examples.
Stuart, so just so we're all aligned, the three values of qualified tutor are to be curious, be generous, and be reflective. So you'll see that in our practice and how we ask questions and how we reflect, and how we're able to give feedback as well. So our members are awesome. So are we ready to see this? We want to see it, Sue.
Pink is performing in Perth today, and I think I feel more pressure than what she's going to be feeling, to something like 70,000 fans or something at Optus Stadium. So look, thank you everyone for your time. I really appreciate it. Hannah, I don't know if you could give me, oh no, you might have already given me control. So just to give you some, I've got the power. Woohoo. Just to give you a little bit of background, so we are web hosted. That means we're hosted through Amazon, Amazon being a global company, and is the best. We do pay a premium to use them. They do have the best security, uptime, everything like that. So we are AWS, and it's all cloud-based. So you can be sitting in Portugal, drinking a margarita, or wherever you want to go abroad, to get away from your weather at the moment, which isn't that pleasant, is it? But you can still be seeing what's happening in your business, whether it be on your phone, a tablet, your computer. As long as you've got data anywhere in the world, you can still see what's happening in your business without you actually being there. So those are some of the things that are really important, and we want you to have portability over the system. Now, would you like me to start with your customer journey, so what your customers see, or would you prefer to see what you see as the staff, as administrators? What do you think's best?
For me, Helen, what do you think for you?
Okay. Well, I'm here because I don't have booking software at the moment, and it's something maybe I think I need to introduce.
Yes.
And I've looked at various ones, and so far a lot of them are signing up to holiday features that I wouldn't actually need. So it's trying to work out what is the minimum I need just to improve the customer experience, and to make it easy for parents.
Okay. There's two ways of looking at that, Helen. The first one is because you're coming off, I assume, Excel spreadsheet, would that be correct? Or Google Sheets or paper. You want something of ease, so you want to be able to have your calendar. You want to see what your timetable's like. You want to see what your how many students are booked in and which students. You want your platform to raise your fees, whether that's from termly, being school term, or monthly or fortnightly, whatever it is that however you run your business. And you want to be able to do that in a more automated fashion. You also want to be able to communicate with your customers in a more automated fashion and make them feel part of your business. And you can do that through emails. You also want to be able to get a quick text message out to a group of students because you can't run that class today because of scheduling factors, etc. So is that the sort of thing that you're after? You want to see, how you can see it from your end as a business owner first, because obviously anything that makes your life easier is going to be a better experience for the customer.
Yeah,
but then
yes, I want to sort of automate things, but I want it to still sound as if it's me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So everything is branded you, Helen. From the point of view, I know you're looking at my screen at the moment and you're seeing a Udio logo and yellow. And that's because it's my sandbox and I'm in there playing. But it's your logo, it's your colouring, and it's your timetable. So everything is branded in that regard. And when we go through it, it's your courses, everything like that. It's your packages and pricing and things like that. So do you want to start with the customer experience and we can walk through what they would see?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have a website, Helen, or how do people find you?
I do have a website. I do have an entry on Google.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they go to your, they're on Google, and Stuart's always going to laugh, and he's already laughing because he knows I'm going to say this. So at 9 o'clock at night, my child, they've got their report and they're lacking in a particular area, science, maths, English. So as a parent, I want to get my child some tuition outside, external to the school. So what's the first thing that I do? I'm going to Google, aren't I? I'm going to Google tuition schools within my area. They come across your website. They really like what they see with your website. And on that website is a Book Now button. On that Book Now button, it will take them through to this timetable. Now, again, remember, this is your branding and everything like that.
Mm.
And the courses are your courses. So we set it up to be however you want it to be. And from there, the parent will then choose. So is it science? Is it maths? Are they year 5? Are they year 3? And from there, they'll click on that particular information. Remember, they're doing this while you're at home doing your own thing. They're actually doing this at home themselves. They can see your whole timetable. They can see the classes that you have availability in, but also classes that you don't have availability on. Because we want them to see that you're a busy school, not that especially at the bigger schools that might only have a couple of time slots. We can also turn on waiting list. So a parent could add themselves to the waiting list. So again, if that's, I really can only do that that Thursday at 3:30, they can pop themselves onto the waiting list so you have their details.
Sue, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
If I only teach one-to-one tutoring, it would just show one spot, and you would say one-to-one tutoring. So you can name it however you want. So you could, or if you do one-to-one and group, you could show the difference between them.
Absolutely. If I step you back one level, this is your view. So in here, we would call it however you want. So we could have a program as one-to-one, and we can have a program called face-to-face.
Brilliant.
Group.
Group, yeah.
One-to-one. You might have online. A lot of my tutors have online as well. I'm just onboarding one in Malaysia. And he said since COVID, none of the parents want to bring their kids to school. They want them all to be online because they don't want to deal with the traffic. So everything there is online. So absolutely that can be done. And then the courses can be whatever you want. They can be a one-on-one. They can be a group math, group science, however you want to name it, we can label it. And from there, that's what's reflected in your timetable. When we create the timetable itself, we just say if it's a group, maximum of 4 or maximum of 5 or however many it is, 3, 2. And if it's a one-on-one, maximum of 1. Udio then knows that it can't overbook. So as this class becomes, someone else books in, it becomes 6, it becomes 5, etc. So I'm just going to select 9 o'clock on a Thursday. From there, it takes me through to the sign up page. Again, this is your logo, your colouring, and it's welcome to your business. And there's some more branding coming with that, with the app, correct, Stuart?
The whole thing will be redesigned and branded, so that'll be, we'll use that word again, contemporary, but yeah, the whole look and feel will change, and we'll give better options to customers to make it look and feel like their business look and feel.
But not to the point, Helen, where you have to go and employ a webmaster or anything like that. It can still be controlled within you as well. That's why with Udio at the moment, all you need to do is have the URL, which is a specific URL that's dedicated to you. If I was to show you one, I give this as an example quite often, and this is Netball Development Academy. So this is a company in New South Wales and again, it's booking class system. So what happens is the web developer went in, this is their website. And then as soon as they go from there, they're actually in the Udio website. Let me I can't log out, sorry. And then, but it still has that look and feel of your business or of their business. They've changed the colours of buttons, etc. So anything can be done there. From there, once we've selected it from the timetable, we click sign up. And then from there, the parent is putting their own details in, their own contact information. So the first thing they're going to do, remember, they're doing this at night when it suits them, and they're also entering their own information. It's not a form that comes to you, it is an actual true booking. You're capturing all the main contact details. So the parent name, the email address, the phone number, SMS consent. You're getting the postcode as well. So you can start to do some inquiries. If you're looking at promoting through social media, you can start to look at that sort of information.
Sue,
yep.
Sorry, with the SMS piece, do we have to put a plug in to Udio, or is the SMS included? Is the price of sending an SMS included in this?
No, so the pricing is external. And for the life of me, I can't remember. I'll find out the pricing of it, but it is external to Udio. But the actual sending of SMS is internal to Udio. So you're not having to export anything or download anything. Udio, it's contained within Udio.
But there is an additional.
But there is
an additional cost. Okay.
Yes. However,
when we
and I know Stuart's about to say something. When we release
the app comes along, there'll be push notifications.
Push notifications, which will be free.
But it won't go to text.
Well, push notifications will appear on their phone. So it's like a text. It will rely on the customer having downloaded the app, but we believe that majority of them will.
Thank you.
I'm just adding my password in as a customer. And then we're asking them a question. How did you hear about us? These answers are all controlled by you, because you might want to start knowing some of that, especially if you're advertising on Google, if you're doing SEO, things like that, as well as social media. Each has you can have your own terms of service, privacy policy, and payment gateway terms of service. That means you put them into the back end of Udio and they are accepting those terms of service. They can click on those, see what your terms of service look like, your privacy policy, and your payment provider policy as well. Once they're happy with that, they'll tick. They'll never read them, but it's there, and that's the legal part of it. And they click sign up. Now that has now created an account. So like I said, it is no longer a form that comes to you or anything like that. And if I was to go into your view, Helen, then here, Elvis Black has arrived. And there he is there. So all his details are there. Now, at the same time that that's happened, an automated email has gone out to him, welcoming him to your business. So this is all about your business, Helen, how long you've been in business for. So it's a real welcome to community. And you give some information in there. From there, they then click add student. And they add their child's name and their date of birth. They do not need to add a gender, but it is there as an option. And they click add student. Because I put the wrong date parameter in, but it will remember all the information from what they've selected on the timetable. And it will come through to, 1 second, just ignore this, because it will go through to this next page. So it will skip a couple of pages because it will have remembered everything from the timetable. Helen, you run on.
Sorry, Sue, so on the timetable, you'd put the age groups that is available to. So then Udio recognises the child that you've added with their date of birth and then gives you a reduced list of what's available to you for that child.
Correct. So again, in the background, so if you had your group session and it was ages 8 to 10 or something along those lines, we can put in that any online booking that for that customer between those age groups, they see those courses, but they don't see one that's for a year 4 or year 3 because they don't need to. They're never going to book into them. So we can control a lot of that behind the scenes. We can also...
Is it compulsory for people to put in date of birth? Because for my courses, that isn't really essential.
We do, we have it as a compulsory form, a compulsory piece, date of birth, but that just means they're entering it. It doesn't mean that you have to add in those date of birth in here or control it that way. So it's just information. I think maybe it's good information for you to have as a preparatory that it is someone who is 12.
So we have to be careful with GDPR.
Yep,
so
okay.
We can't collect data unless it's actually being used.
Okay, so Stuart?
Well, so date of birth, for example, for most of our clients, they have mandatory age bands. So for example, a lot of swim schools, they don't want students to select into classes they're not eligible for. So we collect the date of birth to ensure they're aligned to the course structure. So it's not a feature we can drop out because we collect that on every individual, every student that signs up. We don't do it with the parent, but we do it with the student.
Is there a way for it to be optional, that field, or is it a mandatory field in your base system?
At this stage, it's mandatory. We could look into the optionality of it, but it would be a big structural change because it's not something we've ever had. We've never run into that before.
Okay. Helen, with your tutors, do you teach from age 11 to 16, or is there a particular...
Not really, because I sometimes get people wanting to do GCSEs who are 14 because they're being home educated and they're being accelerated. So, I mean, if they've reached the right sort of academic level to do GCSE, I wouldn't turn them down because they're 14. So, and I do also sometimes get adults. So again, I wouldn't.
Oh, very nice.
I wouldn't want a system that cut somebody off because they were over 18.
Well, I wouldn't cut them off.
It wouldn't cut them off.
Yes, yeah.
The parameters are mostly set for minimal level. So, for example, in the swim industry, a 7-year-old child can't be booked into a gold medal swim, for example, because they're just not suitable for it. So it's only if you set it up that way that the age parameters would kick in. Otherwise, we just collect the data as well. You can't have, if they're a child, they need to be able to sign off the terms and conditions. So that's the other piece as well. Like there's terms and conditions that you have to sign off that are mandatory. So an adult can go through, but you can't allow a child to enter the system. So most of them have their parents sign up and then create the student account.
Let's pick this up separately. From a GDPR perspective, if you're not doing it by age, I would suggest Georgina is on the call and I'm sure she has an opinion on it, but her video's off. Georgina, we'd love to see you today. There she is. Georgina, putting in a date of birth, knowing how old that child is that something you collect currently? You're on mute.
I do. I like to know when their birthday is because it's nice for them to get something on their birthday. So even just for a marketing thing, I like to have it. I do need to know if the person that signs up.
And Udio identifies those birthdays, so we can tell you in advance who's having a birthday that month. Also, if they're coming in for the lesson today, for example, and their birthdays was 2 days ago, it will actually say, it will actually say to you, they had a birthday 2 days ago. So you'll have that information there. So, Helen, from your point of view with the date of birth, whilst they enter it, we don't have to put age restrictions in the courses. So they can book into anything and you still collect that data, but you are using it for birthdays and for anything else.
This is great. Thank you, Sue.
Excellent. Thank you for that feedback. So what happens is we can also have some wording. If I just go back one page, we also can have some wording about what's going to happen in that one course or in that course. Oh, I've gone back too far. If I was to select, so Helen, in your case, it might be face-to-face, a one-on-one versus group, or face-to-face versus online, or whatever the case. We can have some information here just describing what's going to happen in that class. It's not a War and Peace novel or anything like that, but there might be just some information that you want to give them so they can make that decision. From there, they'll select that, as we said, and then in my case, I've had to bring the timetable up again. That would have been pre-selected from the other page. And then from here, you're all being termally. What happens there is if they, before the start of the term, if they're booking in, it books them in for the whole term. They have no choice. They can't decide to start week 2 or 3. If you deem it that way, if you allow them to do that, then we've got a setting for that as well. However, if it's week 2 or 3 of the term, and then they want to book in, Udio will allow them to do that from that day on and will prorata the fee accordingly. So that the fee is, if there's a 10-week term and they've got 7 weeks left, that's how much they pay. And from here, mine's monthly, but yours will say what it is for the term. Now, depending on how you run your business, you have one of two options. The first one is they can just book and not pay. Or if you want them to pay because they're booking online and everything like that, we can enforce, and it is a setting that can be turned off, that they must enter their credit card or bank account details. That's entirely up to you as a business owner, Helen. You don't need to turn it on. We have found since COVID that over 90% of our clients have switched that on, and it was something because of COVID that we created, because they were sick of people going, yeah, I want that. I'm going to book my child into 15 things and turn up to nothing because I haven't paid for a thing. It's entirely up to you. You might be a bit more bespoke than that, and people are pushing for those positions, but you've all smiled. So I'm assuming you've all had at least 2 or 3 of those that you've come across. So it's entirely up to you. If you are passing any of the surcharges on to your customers, whilst it's in your terms and conditions, we also allow you, if you want to, put it here very boldly in red or pink or blue or whatever you want. Should be pink because pink's playing in Perth tonight. But it just allows them again to know that they're going to be charged. They still won't read it. They've got 3 opportunities and they still haven't read it.
I was going to say that in the UK law, it's not legal to charge extra to clients if they pay by credit cards. It's a consumer rights thing.
Are you allowed to redeem the fees that you are charged by your provider?
You could, as a self-employed person, you can claim it back against tax, but you can't charge the client.
Okay, so you turn that on.
Yeah, so the way they'll do it here is that the tutor's hourly price, termly price, monthly retainer price will include all of their costs that they need to cover. That's how people manage it here. So we wouldn't have, but we can turn that message off.
Yes, that's just a message that's updated. So in Australia, we also have consumer laws, although I still reckon the airlines don't go it. But a business can't pass on any more than what the surcharge is that's been passed on to them. So that's the difference. But no, you can turn that off. You don't charge them whatever you want in their settings. Again, they're getting an opportunity to read your terms and conditions and privacy policy. Again, they won't, but it's there. And then from here, they proceed. And then the form will be here that they just fill out. So they'll put their card details in or their bank account details and then just follow suit. Add payment method. Only at that point, when they've entered their details, can they click complete booking. Now that's, I know for you, Helen, that probably felt like a really long time. It is less than 5 minutes for a customer to do it, but we stopped and talked about it, etc. We have in some of my clients, they're about 95% online booking. So they don't take bookings over the phone or anything like that. They want them to do it all online. Now, whilst that's all happened and we've been chatting, first thing is an email went out to the customer. The email is your logo, your colouring, etc. And it's welcome to Elvis, the father or the parent, to your business, and can talk about, and it's all updatable by you. It's free form text, and you can talk about your business in there. So it's like a welcome to community. From there, another email has gone out to them, welcoming them to this particular level, because maybe you want to tell them that this is an online course, but be prepared at a desk in a quiet area, you know, with pen, paper, etc., etc. If it's face-to-face, you know, please make sure you're here 5 minutes before class, etc., etc. And you can have some tags in there where it actually gives them their booking information, whilst it's the same every week. Apparently some people get very confused about when they're coming in, which I just find incredible. I do believe, Stuart, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe with the app, they will be able to tap on something that they can then download to calendar. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the master plan. So that once the booking is confirmed, they can then push it into their calendars. So that's another aid for them.
So
sorry, Sue, the invoice that's then raised, does it integrate with accounting systems?
So it depends what you mean by integration. So we can push information, or we have a third party called Zapier. Actually, Stuart, you're probably better to talk about that.
Yeah. Do you set that up, or if I'm already using Zapier, can I set that up myself?
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
So in our online help center, so everyone has access to the online help center, and in there is 3 articles about Zapier and how you can pull that information out.
Thank you.
So from there, so if you think about this, you're at home enjoying yourself in front of the fire because it's been a cold winter, and your customer has actually booked online. You've got all their details. They've made the booking, and the payment is being processed. So by the time you wake up in the morning, you've got all that. You haven't got an email that comes to you to say, now can you contact this customer because now you've got to try to find a spot for them, etc. It's all done.
How many email templates are there, Sue?
There is, if you give me a moment, I think there's in excess of about 30 emails. Now, I will say we are not a CRM. We're not a nurturing system. That's what CRMs do, but they don't book customers in. We book customers in, and we're more informational. So we confirm their bookings. We have things like if they move their booking, an email can go out to them confirming that. They're invoicing. If they miss 2 lessons in a row, so they're a no-show, an email can go out automatically to them. If they have a payment that fails or rejects, an email can go out to them. So we have lots of automated emails. Same with the payment receipt. If you have our payment gateway, then what happens is as soon as we get pinged back from the bank that it's successful, a payment receipt automatically goes out to the customer. So in effect, you may not have even talked to that customer before their first lesson.
Is there a register then? So you would know that they haven't shown? Yes,
and I'll show you all that shortly when we go through that. There's a couple of different ways of seeing that, business owner versus the tutor. And whilst some of it, Helen, it might be that you might be both, but it'll allow you to see what's coming, etc. So lots of different, as you can see, they're all in there. And this is growing as well. We've got some more going in the next couple of months. The other thing is you can go on.
Yeah, can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Is there a sort of minimum and maximum booking time? Because I don't really want somebody booking at 11 o'clock at night for a lesson at 9 o'clock the following morning.
Yes, you can. So we can go into our courses. And we can go in, and again, there's setup here, but we do most of that for you, and a lot of it's defaulted. So don't feel overwhelmed, Helen. A lot of this is just defaulted stuff, and we're the ones that actually do the work. So we can say new bookings allowed 7 days in advance, but only 24 hours in advance of that. So they can't book in at 11 o'clock for a 9 o'clock. They have to have 24 hours if that's what you wish. So we have all of that available in there and set up. Do you, so from the customer portal point of view, we show their upcoming bookings. So if they have multiple children, they'll all appear here. Do you allow your families to move their booking day and time if there's a spot available, or do you want that? You can have that turned on in the portal, or you can have it turned off in the portal. It's entirely up to you. But you might say, well, they're contacting me to say that they're, the customer wants to move their booking. If there's a spot available, just let them move to it. What's the difference? It's entirely up to you. Again, it's all settings. But again, Helen, don't feel it's overwhelming, because we do all that with you and work with you to make sure that that is all set up for you. What if someone can't make a lesson? Do you like them to let you know beforehand? Yeah. Do you give them any, do you give them a makeup or anything like that they can use at a later date?
If they give enough notice that I haven't already prepared everything, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So again, it's entirely
it depends on the circumstances. If they're real and they're the sort of client that I know it's genuine, then I might be more lenient than, oh, they're going for a party.
Yeah, oh yes. So what you can do, you can have it in Udio that they can click a button that says they are unable to attend that lesson. Now, we can have it set up that they don't get anything for it. So they're just telling you they're not coming. You can then decide if they're going to get a credit, or whether you're going to give them a lesson or anything like that. It's entirely up to you. Again, we can turn that on, we can turn that off, we can limit what they can do with that. So again, entirely up to you which way you go with that one. We can communicate to our customers through customer notices. So in some cases, it may be that you've got a download. So maybe you're doing an Easter colouring in competition or Mother's Day or something, or you need this particular classes to know what they need to bring for the next one, or there's a competition coming up. You can communicate through email, of course, but you can also have it here as a reminder. So anything, it can be a link to a website of something that's interesting. It can be a download, etc. So we have that available. If you have Facebook, we embed Facebook into there for you. So it's another form of communication with your customers. We don't do Instagram at the moment. I don't know, Stuart, if that's something that's being talked about as part of the app.
Yes, we're trying to incorporate Insta into it as well. People are moving away from Facebook as we all get older. So don't have a plan for TikTok yet, but certainly looking to incorporate Instagram into the social media side of things.
Sue, I'm conscious of time because it's 1:45, and we always finish on time.
Okay.
And also you two need to go and have a big glass of red wine, considering it's 7:45 in the evening, and you've got a long weekend with a bank holiday weekend, and we really, really appreciate your time this evening.
That's okay. I think then, if you don't mind, I will talk about the tutor's view, if you don't mind, because I think that's something that's important. So what I wanted to show you is, this is the tutor's view. They'll come in through the dashboard, and in the dashboard, as the owner, you will see any customer that is new, so brand new for that particular day. So they've booked themselves in, perhaps you've not actually talked to them, but you'll know that they're new because it will be labelled here. Now, as I'm a tutor and I'm logging in, I'm just going to go back to a previous session. And the first thing I'll be in is this page here. This is where I will land. So I, as a tutor, I can see that so Jack is brand new, so never been with me before. So I know that he might be a little bit apprehensive, not going to ask so many questions. I know to introduce him to the children. I, as the tutor, can take roll call. Very, very important, because if you are being challenged by a parent about the non-progression, or I'm paying you all this money and I don't feel my child's getting anything, the first thing we can do is we can go to these 3 dots and we can say, you started with us on this date and you have attended this many times. So you've got that information instantly. You don't have to go back and count or anything like that. It is there all instantly for you. The other thing that's real, and poor Jacob is 95. So there you go, Helen. You've got your adult student. He's taking his college course. And what can also happen is these 3 dots here. You've got add note. You write a small note. It might be that they're working on a certain workbook. Something along those lines. Now, we all know that the tutor that takes them each week knows these students backwards and forwards and everything else. But someone's gone abroad to sip on that martini, or no, what is it? Margarita. That's right. That's what you do when you're abroad. And there's a tutor stepping in, or maybe you've had to through illness, just like poor Stuart had to for me this week. They don't know these students. So all of a sudden, I've got this information. It's transferred across each week. So I know exactly what each child is working on, or perhaps what they're struggling with, or in Helen, in your case, you've got a student that you're trying to excel that little bit further. So there you're putting that information in there. So that class, even though the regular tutor is not taking them, is not wasted. They know exactly what's going on. That tutor knows exactly what's going on. If the tutor was prepared, they can also add the notes here, and it's just for this one class. But they can go here, the notes for this week's class. And they can add an attachment. Oh, sorry. So the tutor that's replacing them, they're not the ones having to do all the work. It's here for them. They can click on that and they can see our office works order. But you can see exactly from here that all that information is contained in there. From anyone, you can have all your tutors do that as well. So you can always go back and look at the notes as well to see exactly what was taught on that particular day.
Sue, can I communicate with the parent through here?
You can. So in this particular case with my students, I can click notify through email or SMS or however you want to with messages. And here I've got the ones that attended and the one that missed. I can select from an email template. Maybe you've got some templates in place, or I can send an email out in free-form text.
So if I just want to email one of them, I just need to unclick the other ones. Does that email get stored anywhere in the history?
Yes, it does, and that's what I'm about to show you. So once I send that out, what happens is no notification sent to the following people. Oh, only one of them. Okay. So what then happens is all our communication is stored in a couple of different ways. The first one is in a report called All Activity Report. So we track everything here from the booking that just happened with Marie Black. We know that the customer did it. And also all the emails that actually get sent out are through here, and they'll be coming through here shortly. It'll say pending. You can then also go down to the student themselves. So the parent contacts you and says, I really didn't like the tone of that email, or I didn't understand something. You can go to that student's profile, and very shortly it will be sitting in here. It's just because my sandbox is a bit slower, but it will be sitting in here. You will be able to click on that and see what that email was and what was sent. And if need be, just like any payment receipts, you can click send again and it will resend it. So we track everything. That will come through shortly. So all the financial information is stored on the parent, on the responsible person, and anything to do with the booking is stored on each child's page.
So the financials get broken down into each child as well.
So what happens is if I use my, so if I go into Cassie, who's the mum, it has a lot of children, but in here in her view activity, she has all the financial information in here. However, when we send it out, if she's got multiple children, it will contain their information in here that's been paid. And it tells them the name in here as well. So in this case, it was Cassie. And then there's others. Cassie, if I go to new invoice, hang on. She has so many credits because I use her all the time. Actually, let me just find you one. So, of course, just as I'm going through this, we have full payment reports, so you can see everything that's happened with payments, who's made payments, etc. That's all there. So this one's a good one, Red Rose. She owed a bit of money, and I made her pay today. And all her invoices are down there. You won't have processing surcharged. I used her for a test today. However, you will see here, in this case, it's for the same child, but yours would be different ones in here. They're all listed out. They're when they come, their time booking, etc. Oh, and that email has just gone out. There you go. This can be your own footer, etc. So that's what's gone out. And from there, then that's recorded on those students.
That's great. Thank you. Helen, Georgina, do either of you use a booking system at the moment? I know, Helen, you said you're looking for one. Georgina, do you use a booking system at the moment?
For individuals, I use Tutorbird, but it doesn't really work very well for groups. So I've just been manually putting people into events when they sign up, and I definitely need something better because it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of Tutorbird before, and funnily enough, I did a demonstration the other day, and I can't remember the name of the company, and they were using Tutorbird, and they've just signed up with us. I can't remember which one it was, whether it was the one in Malaysia. So I know, and look, I know we do one-on-ones and we do groups. To us, they're no different. It's a maximum number of 1 or a maximum number of 5 or maximum number of 10, however many you want in there. You can also have those different days. So you might offer the same thing with a one-on-one on certain days, and other things you might offer online versus face-to-face. We can do all that through our setup of programs.
Amazing. So could we run through commercials, please, to understand how this is priced so Georgina and Helen can get an idea, and also the exclusive offer that we have for qualified tutor members, please.
And I'll hand that over to Stuart.
Stuart,
And he's dreaming of that red wine. That was
I was going to say, he's had his camera off. He's been having, there we go. What's that?
It's a lemonade. My wife walked out and handed it to me. I had to turn my camera off because I'm an absolute professional, but this is empty.
Mine is water.
So what we will do is bring you on our middle package, but charge you at our entry package. And our model is based on number of facilities. So for you guys, I'm making an assumption most of you would have one facility, and then it's based on the volume of students you have. And I would assume most of you are under 100. So I think our entry price is very cheap. And we're changing our pricing again anyway, so it might become even cheaper. So I don't think we'll give you a discount because the pricing will be so good.
But no, we definitely have an exclusive offer for our members, Stuart.
Yes, absolutely. It's so cheap. My keyboard.
Stuart's humour didn't go through then.
Stuart loves me.
I just was using my keyboard, just stopped working as it got to pricing. Just do a quick calculation. So if I do it in English,
Georgina and Helen, we are very professional.
Very professional. That's why we love working with you.
If you've got less than 100 active customers, it's £39 a month, but we give you our pro package, which is £49 per month. So we give you a discount on that. And the price only goes up if your volume of users goes above 100, which is a very good problem to have.
Stuart, what's the difference between the middle package and the entry package? What's the features that our members will get for that price?
Sue will onboard you
so,
and set your
yep.
business up at no charge.
That's amazing. And we
We
love
would normally
Sue.
charge, yes, we would normally charge for that. So Sue becomes your extension. So she will do all of your core setup. She'll migrate any of your existing customers into our platform. So they will have a Udio account. She'll do all the onboarding. When I say she, her team, but led by Sue. She'll set up your courses. She'll help you onboard. Then she'll do all the training. We would normally charge for that at the entry level, but we don't. And
also,
she does lots of
also waiting list. Sorry.
She does lots of sneaky stuff. Like she gives you the waiting list for free, and she probably will give you all our advanced reports too, because she's
waiting list is actually included in the middle one, but I'd certainly give you health notes as well. It's very important that you know your children's health information. The parent can also add them in themselves. So yes, that would be in there, but I never tell Stuart those things.
So we get Sue. You mean anyone that is a qualified tutor member gets Sue?
Yeah, it's the bane of my existence because Sue's about to leave, and then I have to try and replicate Sue's customer service standards, which, despite my sparkling personality on this call, I'm not able to sustain for 24 hours a day like she can. So it's good and it's bad because when you have to deal with me, it's a noticeable drop off, but I try my very hardest to uphold her standard.
But we do have a team as well. There are others in the office that, and look, if we can't answer the question, we've got access. So all our developers are on site. We're based in Perth in Western Australia. We're a fully Australian company. We're privately owned and not going anywhere. I've been with them for the whole 12 and a half years now. I was part of the original document, of which the owner said at the time, how hard can this be? And it should only take 18 months. And every time I see him, I just laugh at him because we're still developing and our roadmap doesn't get any smaller. So we've been around for a long time, even though we class ourselves as a startup. So we have a team, we have our developers in the same office as us. So if there is an issue or a question that I can't answer from a customer service point of view, we have access to the people who developed it.
That's amazing. So, and in regards to, say, Georgina wanted to start with you next week, as an example, time zone wise, how's that going to work? Because she's in the UK.
She jumps on a plane and she flies over here. QT covers the bill. Because that's part of one of the perks of being a QT member.
I don't really operate at British time zone anyway.
No, we try that. It's a bit of a challenge for us at the moment. So we kind of operate up until about this time in the evening. So we've got a good window from sort of 3 o'clock in our afternoons, about 7 o'clock your time. And then we run our sort of support desk. So if we want to do like one-to-one personalized stuff, we try and schedule it in the morning. I have caught Sue doing calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. I prefer that she didn't do that. And then we run our support desk 24/7. There is a bit of a lag on response time, we say within 24 hours, but if it's urgent, when urgent is the database went down, there's almost an hour response time on that. But we just we normally have such a good relationship with the client that we can schedule questions or upgrades or any of the changes that are required. We tend to work around the gaps that we both overlap in terms of time zone.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, but if it's like, can I have a meeting with you tomorrow night? And as long as I haven't got anything that conflicts, if I have to meet you at 9 o'clock my time, then I do so. That's what we do. And then Stuart gives me 3 days off for that 1 hour. But we also, what we do is, he didn't respond to that. But what we also do is every question that you have, we actually video the answer so that you get a feel of the screens that you're looking at. You get to listen to me, and I apologize for that. But I might give you some alternatives. I might say, well, you can see it this way, but if you actually click here, you can see it this way, or this screen will take you through to here. So you get to learn the system by actually watching it and then going in and doing it as well.
Sue, you are amazing.
Thank
Time
you.
Tuition, Taib has already signed up,
Yes,
and I did
yes,
mention who it was, but he has put a comment in here saying, I don't have a mic or camera, he's accessing from home, and he's been working with Sue recently to onboard, and I can say she is fantastic. If things are not working, she suggests the best way around. We have been looking at booking systems to manage group sessions, and this seems like a fantastic option. Ladies and gentlemen, QP members, come and work with this fantastic team. You can see my relationship with them. We've been building a relationship over the last few months. They are qualified tutor partners. They are committed to finding the right solution for you. We have this awesome opportunity for you to get that middle package at the entry price and access to Sue. We always finish on time. Stuart?
Oh, quick one thing. What did he write about me?
He didn't, Stuart. He didn't. Apart from, we love your profile picture, Stuart.
Yeah, okay, well done.
I upset Stuart the other day because I told him his profile picture didn't look like him.
Oh.
Looked really young in it.
Say what you really said. You're like, you look a lot like George Clooney. You should lean into it.
I did say that. I absolutely said that. You guys are awesome. We are proud partners with you. And we look forward to the next demonstration. But guys, reach out if you have any questions. Have a fabulous Friday, long weekend in Australia. Go get your glasses of red wine.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thanks, everybody. Happy
Really
Friday.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.